Hi, it's Dr. Julie Gilbert here from Oregon Weight and Wellness. Thanks for joining us today, and I'm flying solo today. Rachel's doing the baseball thing. Hey, Rachel, if you're around and tuning in, maybe you can check in. But we will see Rachel next week, and so it is unto me. But I think I can take it from here. I wanted to remind everybody that we are doing a new thing here at Oregon Weight and Wellness because people have asked. I have started a teaching kitchen, and we will involve all the team members, so you get to meet all the team members, and I will be going to individuals' homes, and we're going to be cooking some delicious, nutritious food that is so good, nourishing to our bodies. It's not hard, and it doesn't take all the time in the world. So we're going to be addressing those real life barriers, those walls that get in our way, that those fixed false beliefs that we're holding on to, like we don't have enough time, we don't know how, we don't have the confidence, we don't have the skills. Well, how do we get them, and how do we make more time, or how do we use less time but still create delicious, nutritious food? So we're going to do it all in our teaching kitchen. We're still coming up with a name. So far, what I have is Chow or Chew. I can't remember. So it's going to be Culinary Health, the C, Culinary Health of Oregon Weight and Wellness. So that spells out that acronym, is that what that's called? Spells out Chow or something like that. Anyway, I don't know. We'll see. If you have ideas, send them our way. But and I wanted to mention my son's home for his spring break from college. He's a great cook. He definitely has skills more than I do. We did some great cooking yesterday. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to have for dinner tonight, because it's what we made yesterday. And it was this delicious yellow lentil dal. So it was spices that I hadn't used to not put together. I had them all, and I have them at different times, but I hadn't put these particular spices together, and they were absolutely delicious. And it really only took 20 minutes while the lentils were cooking. And they might have been yellow split peas, I'm not sure. But I'm learning more about lentils and split peas. But anyway, while those were cooking, then I sauteed, and it was nice because I had a partner and who helped me, and he's going to join us too for the cooking class. But he helped me he chopped up onion. We had onion and garlic and ginger and mustard seed, and those were all sauteing in a little butter and olive oil, not too hot. And then to that we added green chili and tomato, and then different spices like garam masala and coriander and maybe cumin, maybe turmeric. I can't remember. But anyway, that was absolutely delicious. And then we added that to the lentils, and it was. I hadn't eaten that. I've eaten in Indian restaurants and things like that, but I've never made it myself. Like, I can't make this, but we did together, and it was delicious. And we could have that tonight in addition to this mushroom soup that my son made, and that was also had. I think that had ginger in it too, along with turmeric and cumin and thyme. It was absolutely delicious. So, and coconut milk. So it was great. So that's what's for dinner tonight. And I'm so grateful to have some help in the kitchen. Sometimes when we don't have help, we can have our tools help us. And anyway, we're going to be talking about all that. But today, let's get to our food rules. And we're on chapter 42, and this is Food Rules by Michael Pollan. By the way, I'm going to be reading his other book called, somebody gave me the name of it, but he's got a lot of books out there. I'm going to read another one of his. My favorite recent book is called Super Gut. I just wanted to throw that in there because that's where we got one of these recipes called Super Gut. And anyway, it turned out to be great. But we're on chapter 42 of Michael Pollan's book, Food Rules, and it says, regard non-traditional foods with skepticism. Regard non-traditional foods with skepticism. I'm thinking, what is non-traditional? Non-traditional. He gives an example about the soy. Isoflavones in there. Hey, Amy, thanks for joining. And so his example is the soy products that are out there. Now, soy is a traditional food in a lot of cooking, like tofu or miso, and but that's usually from organic soybeans, or which have then been fermented and just moderately processed, not ultra processed. But we have taken to soy isoflavones, or there's a lot of soybean oil in a lot of our dressings and things like that, and they may not be so healthful. So the other thought I had was protein bars. I mean, protein bars. Of course, we've been eating protein bars for 30 years now, so we may think it's traditional, but it's not really a traditional food. There's a lot of that processed soy in those protein bars that may not have health benefits for us. So we want to be careful there. The other example I thought of was the new Impossible Burgers, or I think it's called Beyond Burgers. And when we apply some of the rules that we've been learning in Michael Pollan's book, but 5 ingredient list, and if you don't recognize it, if it has a chemical name to it, be skeptical. Some of those would not pass muster, the Beyond Burger and the Impossible Burger. And it's maybe traditional to eat animal products, especially, animals that ate what they were supposed to eat. Yeah. Like grass, cows eat grass, right? When we feed cows grain, they can get inflamed. They can get diabetes. They can have insulin resistance and lay down fat where they shouldn't. And and then we eat that inflamed food and we get inflamed. So anyway, I digress. So Beyond Meat and Impossible Burgers, those are not traditional. Those are non-traditional. So you want to think twice and read the labels, the ingredient label very closely, and decide whether that might have health benefits for you. The other thing I was thinking about was like cauliflower pizza. We say, oh, cauliflower, it's in the pizza. It must be great. Well, pizza might be a traditional food for some of us. And I'm talking about, pizza with the crust made at home. It's going to be better. But, when we think we're upgrading because it says cauliflower in the pizza, we really have to read the label and think, they might have dusted the pizza dough with a little cauliflower, so they get to call it cauliflower crust. And really, there's not much nutrition to it, not a lot of cauliflower in there, and certainly not the nutrients that you get from when you eat the cauliflower, traditionally speaking. So anyway, keep that in mind, that we're regarding non-traditional foods with skepticism. And the best thing is to prepare the food at home, in your own kitchen. And when you do that, first of all, you're taking part in, and you're giving yourself permission to spend time in this very important activity of daily living. When did we start believing that we didn't have time, we couldn't take time to do this essential thing that gives us life? So it's a good questions to think about. Not judging, but just kind of getting curious about that. And I don't have time for the kitchen. Well, let's ask why. And maybe it doesn't take as much time. You don't have to spend 3 hours in the kitchen making meals, but 20 minutes, 30 minutes to prepare food that's going to give you the energy, the nutrients, that's loving your body, and you're going to feel full and satisfied and happy with traditional foods. So, all right. Well, I will see you Friday in my kitchen with Ezekiel, and I'm not sure what we're going to drum up, but I'm certain it's going to be delicious. So join us Friday, let's say 3:30 from our kitchen. So until then, have a great day.